Gaza that set at least 9 fires on Israeli border communities throughout the day. Now, the army said it hit a Hamas weapons factory, a terror tunnel, and an underground rocket launcher they said was located in a heavily populated area near a school. No casualties were reported in Gaza, but tensions have spiked in recent days despite a reported agreement between Israel and Hamas within the last week. Now, we jump down to the border area there where our defense correspondent Daniel Tzemach is standing by here. Daniel, just break down what happened yesterday to bring us to the point here today. Where do things stand?
Right, David. So last night's response by the Israeli Air Force didn't end there. From what we understand, the IDF also releasing another announcement a few hours later in the very early morning hours saying that during the IAF strikes, Israeli planes were targeted by machine gun fire, presumably by the militants, of course, in Gaza, whether it be Hamas or otherwise, which prompted another Israeli strike, also targeting a tunnel entry, you could say, in the city of Khan Yunis within the Gaza Strip. So we're talking about 2 tunnels that appear to have been targeted. You mentioned a weapons manufacturer as well as an underground rocket launching site, all in response to those 10-some fires that were started yesterday as a result of incendiary balloons, and also in light of the fact that we're, of course, seeing the continuation of the tension. We are expecting there to be protests here akin to what we saw over the weekend, David, on the border there behind us on Wednesday in the early afternoon hours. And we do understand now that Israeli media is starting to report new developments from within Egypt, who's of course played a very integral role in achieving calm, brokering, of course, that new agreement through Qatar to provide money for the 100,000 families. Egypt apparently pressuring Hamas to put an end to those border riots, something that we saw for well over a year and a half, 2018 to 2019, really ending right before the pandemic in December 2019. Those riots caused a lot of trouble for the residents in southern Israel here on the Israeli border communities. Of course, also for those that participated in the riots, hundreds of Palestinians killed, militants as well. And ultimately, the concern is that right now, given these recent incidents, given this IDF, the Israeli border police officer who was shot still in serious condition in an Israeli hospital, that this situation could develop towards an escalation. And again, we're seeing Egypt chiming in here, trying to prevent that from happening. We can also say, David, the latest in regards to that incident over the border on Saturday afternoon, that border officer was shot through a small hole in the wall. Apparently, the IDF has decided to close those sort of openings in the wall in light of what they have discovered through that investigation. David?
Seems like the least of their response there to close the hole in the wall. There's certainly a lot happening on that front there. Daniel Tzemach, thanks for breaking it down for us. Certainly more to come in the coming days, as you mentioned.